Welcome back to Detailed Reviews, where I have a look at my own personal Outlander. All views are my own, of course. They don't represent anyone else. Make sure you like and subscribe. So let's get on with the video. Today it is a very rainy day where I live, so we're going to go through all of the dials and all of the gauges and see what all the menu options are. Mitsubishi gives you two dial options. The first being these ones, which are the larger dials with the smaller display in the middle, and the second option being the smaller dials with the larger display in the middle. My preference is the larger dials. I find them easier to read when you're going along. However, there are definite advantages to the smaller dials because you do get a lot more information in the center area. So let's have a look at what you get with the dials. So from settings, you can get this display here, which has got the car and the display, the home one, which you get either nothing, then you got the different options for economy, next you got the battery option, and you can see there's three options here, so all-wheel control as well as the energy flow and the battery temperature. The next option just shows you where the car is pointed, and if you push your foot on the brake pedal, you'll see the lights come on. Then you can see what your current media is. I'm playing a very old song from the 80s. Here's the brakes going on when I push the button. Traffic sign, and then your ditches warning. And then back to settings again. I always like to start the car in EV mode, so I push the power button, push the EV button, and then foot on brake, and then the power button again to get the car to start up. So let's have a look at the settings. The first one is the ASC setting, so you can turn this off. Normally you'd always want this on, but there may be times where you're going to want to turn it off. Then we've got the driver assistance settings, starting with lane guidance. You can choose a warning or prevention and assist. And you can see the sensitivity has got additional settings. Next, down after lane, we got the blind spot settings. We can simply turn that off and on. Emergency brake follows that, so we can control whether we want the front or rear emergency brakes off or on, whether it's available or not. Next is the traffic sign recognition. That's simply off or on. Below that are the parking sensors. Well, normally you'd leave these on. However, if you are reversing with the trailer on, you'd probably want to turn them off, because otherwise they can give you false noises when you've just got the trailer behind you. There's no actual object there. These last two settings, well, they're just a matter of personal preference, aren't they? Next is the ability to turn your rear cross traffic alert off or on. Not sure why you'd want to. Scrolling down to the next screen, driver attention alert, where you can set the amount of time, and then low temperature alert. I'm assuming that's when the temperature outside is very cold. After this comes the personal display. Now the personal display is located in the center of the left dial, so you can choose the options whether you want to be blank, navigation, time to destination, fuel economy, trip, distance, the gear position, average speed, or to show you whether the brake lamp is on or not. Next up is the control for the heads up display. Now when I've got the car, the dealer wasn't quite sure whether the height could be adjusted. I managed to find out myself, but to his credit, he did phone me the very next day when he worked it out. So you can adjust the brightness of the heads up display, and then most importantly the height. So the heads up display can go up or it can go down depending on the height of the driver. Of course you can adjust the height of the seats to an extent. I was probably the very first tall driver the dealer had, so you can see it going up there. I'll just let this run without too much talking, just so you can see the range you're getting in the heads-up display. You can also adjust the rotation of the heads-up display, both clockwise and anti-clockwise. I'm not quite sure why you'd want to do it, but you can do it if you wish to. Finally, with the heads-up display, you have content selection, which is where you can decide what you want to go on the heads-up display and what you don't want to, so you don't necessarily feel overwhelmed. And of course there's the reset, which is the reset. Next we have the eco or economy settings, so you can change your mode for the climate control, and you can change the information settings, what you want to see when you stop the car, and of course you can see the history of your economy, and there's my economy settings or history. Probably least interesting of all is clock, but having said that, when summertime comes along you definitely want to have the time correct on your car. But there is more. We've only finished page 1. You can see a whole load more settings there. So you can control the electric tailgate. I'm not quite sure what that does. The sort of lighting you get. The locking settings, whether you want it to be automatic or not. You can control the automatic door locking. For many countries, having your doors locked automatically is an important thing to happen. In some countries you probably just want to disable that, because if you are involved in an accident it can make it harder for people to get in. With the wipers you can turn on or off speed sensing, auto wipe or reverse link, so they wipe automatically when you put yourself in reverse. The driving position option lets you decide whether the seat will slide automatically. The rear seat alert is a good system if you have small children. Basically what it does, if you've opened up the door when you drive off and then you haven't opened up the door again when you get to your destination, assuming to get the kids out, it will set an alarm off. Next is the automatic mirror fold and the drive battery cooler. Why you'd ever want to turn that off, I do not know. Following this is a range of maintenance settings. I assume normally this is just something the dealer would do. Next are the display settings, so you can choose your content. To be honest, I haven't actually worked out exactly what this does yet, but I'm just showing you so you can see that it's there. It doesn't seem to set the default. The default seems to be where you last were at. Next is route guidance. You can turn route guidance alerts off or on. Again, I'm not quite sure why you'd ever want to change this. Following there, auto cruise display, welcome effect, so you can turn off that animation if it's not your thing, and operations guidance for the lights, wipers, adaptive headlights and seat memory. You can also turn the adaptive headlights off or on if you wish to. We have units and language. Again, this is probably something your dealer would do when you first get the car, but you can change if you have a preference. For example, you may prefer miles per gallon. That will have to do for this time. It's run quite a lot longer than I normally like to run. I was going to go through the other menu, but we'll have to leave that for another time. So here's just a quick shot of it. So please remember to like and to subscribe. I try and do new content every week. I am considering doing a question and answer section at some future time. So if you do have any questions, can you please just let me know in the comments. So finally, please don't forget to like and subscribe. All the best for now. Cheers.